Hello and welcome to the Queen Slayer. It's your girl, the Mad Queen. Let's jump into some Eternal Evolution and go over a quick showcase of my current Deesa Caves team. It's much easier to beat the boss if you understand the boss. So if you're interested in watching a guide that goes over the specifics of this boss, check out my Deesa Caves guide. If you or someone you know is interested in playing the game and not yet doing so, I'll leave my sponsored download link for the game in the comments below. Sarah Scion, which is this cave's boss, will put up a shield that reduces incoming damage, so we want to try and take that out as quickly as possible. Let's take a look individually at each hero on the team. I'll go over some of their more important stats, my gear set recommendations, and why they're good in the Deesa Caves. The gear I currently have equipped is by far amazing, but it's a good representation of what you can have that will work. Serena the Battle Angel is the hero I put up front and the only support in this team. She has no exclusives unlocked currently, and as we take a look at her talents, you can see she doesn't have much unlocked here either. The important stats we want to take a look at are for her health, defense, and damage reduction. She has 187,000 health, 378 defense, and no damage reduction currently. Ideally, she would have more of all of those stats, but she works up to stage 10 currently in the caves. As far as equipment sets go, she works best in the Vigorous and Abundant sets. The Vigorous set increases her overall max health by 15%, which is great because the amount of healing she's able to do is based off of her overall health. And the Abundant set increases her healing by 35%. If you don't have access to an Abundance set, which takes 4 pieces of equipment, then try to equip her with 6 pieces of Vigor, so you can get the health bonus 3 times. For her gauntlets, helmet, and boots, you're looking for the main stat to be HP %, and as for the substats, look for defense and damage reduction. Serena is great on this team because she's able to take most all of the damage from the boss and heal her entire team. Sorietta the Star Dragon is the main hero in this team that does the most damage. Under exclusives, I've leveled it many times, and when we take a look at talents, you can see that it's almost totally maxed out here as well. The important stats we want to look at here are attack %, crit rate, and crit damage %. I have 10.5 thousand attack, 21.6% crit rate, and 9% crit damage so far. The attack here is actually pretty good, but as far as crit damage and crit rate go, those stats are actually pretty low. I recommend the Sun Singent, Hero, and Overload sets. The Sun Singent set gives an extra 15% crit rate. The Hero set gives an extra 15% attack, and the Overload set increases crit damage by 20%. There are other sets that could be used, but they are more in-game sets and I don't have access to those yet. All the sets on the dragon I mentioned are what I recommend for all of the heroes whose main purpose is to deal damage. When it comes to its gauntlets, helmets, and boots, you want to look for crit damage, attack, and crit rate %. All the sets on the dragon I mentioned are what I recommend for all of the heroes whose main purpose is to deal damage. When it comes to its gauntlets, helmet, and boots, you want to look for crit damage, attack, and crit rate % for the main and substats. This goes for all the other heroes I haven't mentioned yet either. Sorietta is great for this cave because it's able to rapidly shoot many attacks at the boss in a short amount of time, which is what we need to take the boss's shield down. Omar is the next hero on the team. It deploys a bunch of drones that are able to do a lot of attacks quickly as well. You can see the stats I currently have for Omar, and its build recommendations are the same as Sorietta. My Omar's exclusives have been leveled up quite a few times, and as far as its talents go, they're also almost totally maxed out. Taylor also has the ability to launch multiple arrows at the boss at once with his ultimate ability. As far as his exclusives go, he has not been leveled too many times, and with talent, we are getting very close to getting to the last ability upgrade. But you can see here on the equipment what the stats are specifically that I have on Taylor. And lastly is Randall. Randall is currently just a filler for me on this team, but he works well so far. As far as Randall's exclusives go, I have leveled them a few times, and when we take a look at his talents, they're almost totally maxed out as well. I like to mention the exclusives and the talents because this is something that is pretty important to know whenever you're showcasing a team, because if you don't have some of those things, then you're not going to be able to do as much damage unless you have much better gear than I do. You can also see here the stats that I have on Randall. Other heroes that can be used in the Deesa Cave and perform well are the Bot Mark II and Murfiro. If you have any triple S heroes, you can also look to use Emma, or you can also use Crete the Bull. I'm currently farming stage 10 of the cave. Don't get too worried about the difference in power because you can have a substantial difference in power and still win. What's nice though is that if you lose the battle, it won't take your energy, so you can keep trying new things until you win or go back down a stage. Let's go ahead and jump into a battle, but before I do that, I'm going to hide my face in my chair so that you don't have to guess what's behind me. My commander is Gutierrez. There are a lot of different versions of the same commanders. All of them do something different, so keep that in mind before you throw yours in. This Gutierrez increases my Serena's ultimate ability level by 1, which will allow her to perform more healing, and it also gives the support, which is also Serena, an additional 19,000 health. It also gives the 2 heroes in the middle row an additional 650 attack and 260 defense. Redthorn is the first prototype I use, and it's great in this dungeon because it grants additional attack that can stack to heroes that do multi-hits. The second one I use is Ancestral Will, which increases Serena's healing by another 20%, and the third is Flashpoint, which turns any excess healing into a shield. Serena keeps everyone alive while the other 4 do all the damage. In this specific team composition, Serena needs to live long enough for the other 4 to take down the boss's shield, and once the boss is down and stunned for a short time, she needs to be able to do enough healing to heal herself and the rest of the team before the next shield comes up. If this isn't happening and you're losing, you could do one of 2 things. The first is to try to increase Serena's maximum health as much as possible. Or 2, do a little tweaking to make your damage dealers deal a little more damage. If you're pretty close to beating it, then it honestly won't take too much tweaking to fix. If you're a new player looking for help, or an expert willing to give help, join my growing Discord community. The link will be in the description. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this helpful. Once again, it's the Mad Queen, and I'll catch you in the next video.